Hello Aquarius, thank you for coming back to my channel if you're a returning subscriber. I do hope you enjoy the reading. Please don't forget to like and share. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and please bear in mind that this is a general reading. It may apply to yourself or to somebody that is close to you at this time. I hope you enjoy the reading. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have strong influences in your birth chart associated with another sign, then please feel free to cross-watch to my other videos for further insights. I have shuffled and laid out the cards, and I work with the 12 houses of the zodiac, and as the cards are appearing in each house, then those are the influences that are coming to bear at this time. So now in the first house we have South Node, Life's Debts. So the first house is everything to do with yourself, your appearance, your vitality, your physical body, and it's also what you project to others. So what they see when they see you, which could be aspects of your personality, your characteristics, and so on, and what you are choosing to project at any time as well. So now, with this card coming in, this is a karmic card coming in for you. What this indicates is some kind of turning point coming in for you now. This is about letting go of old baggage, old things that don't serve you anymore, so that you can move forward into the future. So anything unresolved or unfinished from the past needs to be dealt with and closed off now. You might find that something familiar and long-standing in your life will come to a close and allow for the new to come in. So you may have been doing something, sort of using repetitive skills in a daily routine, whatever, just going through the motions in your life over a long period of time. And all of a sudden this comes in and is changed now, and you have to let go of that and actually reach for your highest potential, the highest vision of yourself. So it could also be just that you need to let go of old attitudes, perspectives, even how you view yourself or how you view others. All of this has to be, you have to look at it in a really deep way. It's a form of deep self-analysis. So that you need to let go of that, and then you can move forward into the future, because this card is all about what you came here to do. It's about reaching your highest potential, your highest vision of yourself. And if you are loaded with baggage from past lives or even from this life, and just all kinds of inherited ideas or other things that you've taken on as what you felt were necessary, even things that have been a habit or a sort of a routine over a long period of time. It could even be that you've been in a place for a long time and you need to change it up now as well. So it's really about releasing old patterns, and if you're feeling restricted, or you're feeling resistance with something, or you're being blocked, or there are obstacles with something that you're trying to do, then you need to find a different path. You need to look at a different route and make changes in that. Whatever is not working for you must be cast off. This may come after some sort of deep self-analysis as well. You'll have to leave your comfort zone and make new contacts, and from those contacts will be members of your soul family, the ones that you have deep connections with. So you need to really, it's about letting go of the old and bringing in the new, however that works for you in this house. Then in the second house we have Pluto transformation. Your second house is your house of income, your money coming in. It's also the house of what you own, your possessions, and your self-worth and your value systems, what you value. It also can cover aspects like property and real estate and so on. So now with Pluto transformation coming in, this is exactly what it does. It can be very powerful, literally can turn things over overnight. Or it could be something coming to the surface, so it's something coming up from underneath. It could be something from the past that when you really look at it now, it's not what you always thought it to be. So there could be some disappointment in there for you. It's familiar things that you've relied upon may fall away to bring in the new. So this is the second time it's coming in. It was in your first house, now it's in your second house as well. So it looks like a change is on the horizon for you, a change of the way you've been moving through your life up until now. So you could be sweeping the decks even for a fresh start, or something could burn away, and out of the ashes of that, something new and better emerges. Pluto is always about bringing in the new, and it's going to be better. So if you can look at it this way: if you've got a room full of chairs, all kinds of chairs that you've gathered over a period of time, you want to bring a new chair in, but you can't do that unless you let go of one or two of the older chairs. That's how Pluto works. So now you could also just be feeling ill at ease about something in this house. Perhaps something is requiring change, you're just not sure how to go about it, or whatever it might be, or you could just be feeling a bit unhappy about certain things. Just be careful with your money, taxes, any inheritance money that you might have, anything to do with that. But this card can also be a card of just general regeneration. So this is taking what was existing and making it much better. In the third house, we have air element communicating. This is the card of manifestation. So now coming into your third house, this is the house of communication, all kinds, written, verbal, body language, how you express yourself in all ways. It can be online, in personal contact, it can be in a crowd. So it's all forms of expression, your expression. And it also covers documents and contracts. This house also can cover trips, short trips. These are local trips, not necessarily international, and that's covered by the 9th house. So it also covers interactions with your certain family members, which will be aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, and it can also be interactions with neighbors as well in your local environment. So now, as I said, this card, the most powerful aspect of this is manifestation. So what you're going to have to be really aware of, and you're going to have to really apply yourself, is positive thoughts and words. So and that can be self-talk, how you talk to yourself in your mind, and also how you talk to others. This is about having positive thoughts and words which will manifest for you. If you find yourself heading off into the negative route, saying negative things or thinking negative things, stop yourself and say it again in a more positive manner. Because manifestation is really quick, and especially if this card is coming into your third house. Also, with this card coming in, you're going to have to, sorry, I just need to get some water. One moment, please. Okay, so with this card coming in, another aspect would be that you will need to put down on paper basically what you want to say and what you expect. So what you want and what you expect. Putting it down on paper then is a form of manifestation, because then it comes directly from your mind onto paper, and just that aspect, bringing it down into physical form, is a really powerful manifestation. So now, with this card, you may also find an issue from the past, or something even maybe more recently reaches resolution of some kind. So that, something that you've been grappling with, or something that's come up and just was never really sorted out, may reach resolution now. This card is also about finding clarification without overthinking. So you're already an air sign, so a lot of these aspects you will already be incorporating into yourself. But air signs can sometimes overthink things. So yes, be rational, yes, be detached, but don't let your mind run away with you and create sort of analysis paralysis. You do need clarification on certain issues. And as I said, this could be to do with family members or some other kind of local issue in your environment. You could also be receiving news of some kind. Something comes to you which you've been waiting for, or it could even be something else that comes to you, some kind of news or message. It could also come in the form of gossip. Now, this aspect comes up again and again in your chart, so I'm not quite sure whether that's work-related or personally or just something that's going on in the energies at the moment, but it comes up again and again. So just be aware of that, and just refrain from getting involved in any of that, because it's a repeated theme in your chart this month. With this card coming in, you could also be involved with technology of some kind. So this could be enhancing the way you communicate. It could be an upgrade from what you've currently been using. It could be a really simple thing. It may not be seriously advanced, but it is some kind of upgrade from what you have been using up until this point. Could even be a new cell phone, actually. This card can also bring in learning. You may be learning a new technology, or the technology is coming into what it is that you're busy working with, and you're now mastering that, to do with how you communicate with others, whether that's in a work environment or to do with your family members, or however that's coming in for you. You could also be traveling, as I said, it could be a short trip. And with the air element coming in, some planning will be required, but it could also be educational, or it could be visiting a mountainous area. So that could come in for you as well at this time. Then in the fourth house, we have Chiron healing. So now the fourth house is everything to do with your home. So this is your physical home, but also the environment in your home, the atmosphere in your home. And it as I said, it could be even the change of a home, however that comes in for you. But this fourth house also deals with your relationship with your roots, your foundation, your ancestry, your ethnic identity, your family, where you came from, what you arose from. So if that's important to you, then this could very well be applying to that. Or it could come in where you are wanting to make changes within your home, however that may happen for you. But with this card coming in, what it indicates is that some form of healing is required before that can occur. And even if this is to do with your relationship with your roots and your foundation, there could be some deeper issues there, old wounds, or just sort of emotional healing that is requiring to be looked at. It's got to come into the light. So a wound lets the light in. And if you've covered the wound up and blocked it from receiving any light, then it just sits there, and it does eventually cause pain and come to notice. So you need to open the wound, you need to get the light in, and you need to actually address that, look at it, and deal with it, and find whatever help you need in order to deal with those issues. So it could very strongly come in to do with your relationship with your foundation, your roots, your family, your ethnic identity, however that applies for you. So just always think about it. Chiron is the wounded healer. He recovered from the most atrocious body wounds, and medicine and all natural therapies fall under his domain. So whatever you need to do to overcome those old wounds, you basically you've got to open them up again and actually deal with them so that you can move forward. If this is to do with your actual physical home, or the environment in your home, or your atmosphere at home, it could be with the people that are in your home, and or whoever's in your home. Healing is required in some way. Normally it's emotional healing, but it can actually be physical healing as well. So as I said, this involves, Chiron deals with body, mind, and spirit. So this is all levels. This is not just necessarily a physical, but it can be. So some contemplation is required. This could be also changing old patterns, old ways, old patterns that, old patterns of behavior which keep coming up and they prevent you from moving forward. So some kind of contemplation and healing is required there. You may also need to do research and find whichever therapies or medicinal products can help you. It can also be natural medicines, natural therapies, home remedies, anything like that. And also the nature will help you. So any gardening or any kind of time you can be spending out in nature, because it's associated with your home. So this is perhaps something you can try and bring into your home. It will help you greatly at this time as well. Just also be careful around the home if you are making changes in your home, that you just be aware of that there's nothing that you can trip over or slip or fall on or anything like that. So it could be a small sort of accident that could occur. So if you're doing renovations or changing something around your home, just be aware of that. So this comes in, as I said, a variety of different levels, but it is about obtaining healing on whichever level it is, whether it's all of them or just, the emotional and then the physical. But there's some contemplation and some action required from you in that as well. Then in the 5th house, we have Neptune sacrifice. The 5th house is the house of your having fun, your creativity, your all kinds of recreational activities. So any kind of form of play, any kind of recreational activity can also be sports. It's also the house of children. So whether they're your children or children that you are associated with, it's the house of love affairs, and it's the house of, it can also be the house of risk-taking, which is like gambling or speculation. Even the stock exchange can come in on this as well. So now, with this card coming in, there's two sides to Neptune. So you'll have to just see how it's going to play out for you. But when it says sacrifice, basically that is sacrifice for the greater good. So whether you are, or it's your partner in your love affair, or in with your children, or some you may be seeing it around you, or it could be you. So sacrifice for the greater good, or it could be self-sacrifice in some way. This card can also bring in escapism of all kinds. So this is purposeful escapism, or just feeling overwhelmed and being, just sinking under the pressures and just wanting to escape in any way, whichever way that may be. It's also can bring in difficulty in discerning the best path forward for something that you're working on. So whether it's a creative project, or with a love affair, or to do with your children. Now, don't forget, with creativity, you use that in all different ways. You can use it in your daily life at work, how you speak, how you dress, how you go about your work, how you plan your day. You can be working with numbers. You can be creative with how you do that, how you cook, how you nurture your family, how you look after yourself. There's lots of different ways that you can use your creativity. So you may just be wanting to bring something in and you're just not sure. It's not clear to you what is the best path. You could be suffering from a little bit of confusion, or your children could be. This card can also bring in illusions and lack of boundaries as well. So almost like living in a little dream world, and also bringing that confusion in, but it can also bring in victim consciousness as well. So however that applies for you. On the positive side, with Neptune coming in, this is it's a beautiful influence to have if you are involved where you're using your imagination, or you need fantasy in the way that you operate, whether it's writing or creating in some way. So Neptune covers film, it covers the arts. As I said, it covers fantasy, imagination, music, art, poetry. It's also about divine inspiration. So whether you're a writer or you're just doing some creative activity at home, or you're involved with art, try and pull down the beautiful aspects of Neptune and channel that into whatever it is that you're doing. So as I said, it could be affecting your children as well, or it could be in your creative world, however that applies for you. Then in the 6th house, we have Gemini, I think. So your 6th house is your house of work, your work projects, your work colleagues, your workplace. It's also the house of mastery of your craft. So whatever you specialize in, you don't have to be in a workplace or working with others, whether you work at home or wherever you are, whatever is your craft, whatever it is that you do, it's mastery of that and the experiences you have with that. It's also the house of health and diet and the house of pets. So with Gemini, I think coming in, you need to pay attention. You need to listen. All forms of communication are very, very important in any one of those areas. So this could be, written and words. Writing and words are very, very strongly indicated. It could be writing stories or hearing stories or using stories in whatever it is that you do. But all forms of communication are highly indicated with this. So it came up in your 3rd house. So it could be that you're needing to communicate better or more efficiently, or you need to listen as well as talk. And this could be to do with creative work projects that you're busy with at this time. Again, technology comes in for you. So this could be an upgrade from what you have been using, or it could just be an additional, electronic device that's coming in for you. It could even just be a camera or a cell phone, but whatever's technology that you have in your environment, you're going to be perhaps learning something else or learning more or being exposed to more. Learning comes in very strongly with this, so you could be learning a new skill. You're also going to need to be versatile and very adaptable with this card coming in. But it's all about the mental faculties as well, thinking things through, but also listening. Just be aware that you don't come across as fickle or easily distracted, because that can come in with Gemini. Again, gossip comes in, so you may hear something. Could be in your workplace, something to do with that. Just avoid. Stay clear of anything to do with that. When it comes to health and diet, the brain is indicated, the eyes, nervous system, I would say, is probably one of the biggest things that gets stressed quickly. So you could be feeling a bit highly strung at this time, especially if you're learning or grappling with new technology, or you're having to move at a quick pace, lots of different projects, multitasking and so on. Nervous system does take a bit of strain, so look after yourself and do the best to support yourself during quite a busy period. Then in the 7th house, we have Mercury mind. So the 7th house is the house of your personal relationships, one-on-one relationships. So whether that is a love relationship or a business partnership. What it's indicating for you is that friendship is going to be very important in this relationship. So it's almost like the basis of the relationship. It's friendship first, and then if it's a love relationship, you move on from there. But that must be created first. That has to be solid. Also, you may need to bring in humor, adaptability, flexibility. You may need to be eloquent. Use your words with care. So be good with words and numbers. It's also about listening as well. You can expect developments to move quickly. So, as I said, this could be a love relationship, or it could be a business partnership, or with some other close personal relationship that you're in at the moment. So you can expect things to move quickly. It could also bring in, as I said, gossip and scandals could come in again. You may hear something, or something may come to light. Again, just be very careful what you say and how you're involved in that. It could also be that if you're you may attract, if you're going into a relationship, you may attract somebody who is Mercurian by nature, and that will be, generally they'll be quick, chatty, witty people, intellectual, fun, and also quite restless. They like lots of activity. They like to, be busy and doing lots of things all at once. So that could come in for you. Then in the 8th house, we have Mars Force. The 8th house is your house of big finance. So this is investments, inheritances, legacies, insurances, taxes, banking, accounting, all of those aspects. It's also dealing with other people's money. So you may be involved with other people's money in some way, whether that's a profession or you're perhaps a treasurer for something, or you could just be doing it on behalf of a family member. The 8th house also covers the merging of emotional and material resources in a love relationship, like a marriage, or committed partnership, committed relationship, or in a business partnership. So it's the merging of all of your, both of yours, finances, and also your what you own, and also it's also about, if it's a love partnership, it's the deeper sexual connection between the two of you, and it's also your emotional joinings, your mergings. All right. So now, it could, with this coming in, basically, you could be feeling some sort of overwhelming attraction to something or someone. You could also be feeling fired up about something, whether that's sexually or whether it's to do with an idea or a business or some kind of aspect. It could be even an investment or something that you're working on, rearranging your finances, something. So you could be really feeling fired up. It's about going after your goals, taking action. You could also be gaining momentum in something as well. The other side of this is you may have to confront, defend, or protect your interests. So it could come up like that, because Mars is the warrior energy. So it could come in for you that way. You could also be facing a challenge of some kind, or competition. That's the other aspect of this. So yeah, just see how that comes in for you in this house. Then in the 9th house, we have Saturn Truth. The 9th house is the house of you meeting the world, or the world meeting you in some way. So whether this is through international travel, adventure, or exploration, or whether you're just reading about or studying books. Sorry, I've got an annoying frog in my throat. So the it could be even you researching various aspects of international, whether whether you're learning something or you're talking to people who are from a different place. It's everything to do with foreign ideas, concepts, cultures, people, and it could even be an import-export business, or you could be reaching out to people who are from different countries in some way, whether that's online or through publishing. So the 9th house covers all of that. It covers higher education and study. So this would be university level. It could also be adult education. 9th house also covers philosophy, religion, belief systems of all kinds. It covers teaching as well, and publishing, publishing, the publishing world, and also promotional work or public relations. It can cover your relationship to your in-laws. It also covers the law, so the higher courts. So now with this coming in, Saturn brings in some form of restriction. It's also the face it card. When this comes up, there's something that has to be faced in some way. So you'll have to just see how this applies for you. You could just feel really restricted at this time, or there are delays, or something that you're wanting to do is being put on hold. You could even be facing some kind of correction as well. Now, always with Saturn, it's about having a really strong foundation from which you can build something. And that's slow progress. All right, this is one brick at a time, but it's got to be solid. If you try to build something on a wobbly foundation, Saturn will just come in and destroy it. It will just fall down. So always it's encouraging you to have a very strong, solid foundation so that you can have the achievements that you desire. So it's building slowly from a solid base towards achievement. You may be facing challenges at this time, but it's important to stick to your goals and don't give up. This card is also about following the rules and being fair. You may also be coming into contact with a mentor or some kind of authority figure in any one of those areas of the ninth house. But through the restriction and through the hard work, on the other side of that, if you learn to work with Saturn, on the other side of that will be the achievement that you require. But it's not a quick situation. This is slow progress coming in for you. Then in the 10th house, we have earth element stability. Your 10th house is your house of career, ambition, fame, reputation, and it's also your public status. So it can also be authority figures as well, which may have come in the previous house as well. So with this coming in, what it's asking you to do is to be solid and rooted in your endeavors in this house. You need to be centered, you need to be practical, and you need to be methodical. Some determination is also going to be required because you may have to prove yourself in some way. You need to stand for your truth, but also be careful that you're not too fixed in your views or too stubborn, unwilling to try something new. You may have to let go of a few fears around that and take action on something which may feel new to you, or you're not quite sure about it, but it's what is required at this time. So assess it and be standing in your strength, which will be required, but you may just have to move in a direction which is unfamiliar to you as well. So live in the present, stay in the present, which is where you are able to manifest the best decisions as well. And taking nature breaks may assist you at this time as well. You're going to have to draw on your strength during this period. Get organized, as I said, be methodical and determined about what you're doing, but just be aware that you may just have to try a few new things and just see how things pan out for you. But you may also just have to, as I say, adapt and change to changing circumstances in your environment. Then in the 11th house, we have void of course, moon missing. So this, what this basically indicates is that it's, you may have been through a bit of a stormy period, but it's not a good time to be launching into anything new or untried. Just stay with your normal routine, stay as you are for now, because this kind of period, things are not as they seem. Okay, so just take a pause at the moment and continue as you are, because if you basically something was overlooked or missed out, something wasn't addressed correctly. So if you launch yourself into something new or untried, your results are not going to be what you expect. They could go really wrong, or just not. You get unpredictable or inconclusive results, or things just don't work. So it's almost like a wasted effort. So if you can't avoid it, then do all you can to postpone, or just to go over things again and again until you're absolutely sure that it's 100%. But with this card, it's almost like it's wise to just lay low, continue with your normal routine, let the storm pass, let things settle and sort themselves out, and use the period as a sort of a recovery and a rest period to prepare yourself for when you do need to take action. That's basically what this is about. So now this can come in a number of areas. Your 11th house covers friendships. It covers your hobbies, your interests, and your dreams of the future, your personal hopes and wishes. It's also interactions in all kinds of groups. So social groups, could be societies, any kind of group situation that you may be in. It could be a book club or somewhere where you are interacting with others in a group situation. So all of these come up in the 11th house. The other aspect of the 11th house is also social reform and global consciousness. You may be wanting to join groups which are involved with that. There's various ways that can manifest for you, and also following trends. But it's just advising you to lay low and keep with your normal things. Just keep things ticking over, and just be quiet at the moment until the energies have changed and you get the go-ahead. Then in the 12th house, we have fire element desire. The 12th house is the house of the unconscious. So this is your unconscious drives, motivations, and your unconscious self, really. It's also the house of seclusion. So time to withdraw and retreat and do things on your own, and just self-contemplation, quietness. It's also the house of mysticism and your spiritual life, healing, all of those, meditation, all of those aspects. It's the house of escapism as well, and addictions. Karmic inheritance comes in here as well. But it can also be your experiences in different types of institutions. So whether this is a hospital or a banking institution or a government department, university or a library, any kind of institution. So it's your experiences there. So now with fire element desire coming in, this indicates movement and change of some kind. It's rapid. It's also your reaction is required to be rapid. So it's almost like grasping, plucking up the courage and grasping at something which comes to you. It's taking assertive action. You could have an epiphany of some kind of wake-up call or epiphany. It's also about having the courage to make a fresh start as well. Being honest with what needs to be done, so there can be no mystery with this card. You may also need to, it's a passionate start as well. It could be fresh start, but it's also passionate. It's something that is wakes up in you, and then you decide you want to do it. So it's your reaction to that. It's rapid, and it's movement and change. It could also be that you may need to protect your interests in some way. So this could be somebody, if you work in any one of those environments, or you're busy on a project in any one of those environments, you could be, somebody could be almost like taking credit for what you've done or what you've started. So just protect your interests in that way as well. Okay, Aquarius, please don't forget to like and subscribe or share. And I hope you have a wonderful month, and take care, and I will see you next time.